Hey everyone, Brian Von Via here, back at it again with another set of D&D stories. Today, we've got another doozy. What was the best ending of a campaign you've had? Part 1. Our party had traveled through a portal at the behest of our paladin's goddess, arriving in a war-torn land we didn't recognize, and started working to cut the demonic influence by a cult of orc warlocks out of an orc army to halt their momentum. We managed to steal the artifact they used to unnaturally empower their army and took it back to the portal to hide it in our world. Our half-orc paladin ended up leading the anti-warlock orc faction and chose to stay behind for that reason, directing their war effort away from the other sentient races and against the monster-infested lands to the south instead. Our elf druid chose to stay as well, to serve as a liaison to the elves the orcs were originally gunning for, to serve as a contact and to explain to them what we had done. Our halfling bard stayed with a group of humans we befriended and whose chieftain's daughter he married. This left our wizard, ranger, and warlock to return through the portal, which spat us out rather unceremoniously in a plaza in our hometown. Except the plaza wasn't quite the same anymore. The portal went back in time, and by removing the demonic influence from the orc army, we would have kept our timeline intact. Instead, the three who stayed altered it. The half-orc and elf were celebrated as heroes for stopping the orcs' rampage, and the statue in the plaza depicted them, and the halfling forged a grand kingdom out of the tribe he married into, with his line still continuing to this day. None remembered the three leftover PC's efforts, except for the halfling's line, who had a prophecy from their progenitor that if ever the three of us returned, our payout would be grand indeed. Best ending? Probably the fastest too. My friend wanted to DM. He handcrafted a world over a few weeks. We started to play. I had gotten frustrated for some reason, I was a teenager, sue me, and broke my staff of the Magi. Our usual DM, seeing the destruction and my handwave survival, uses a charge of his staff of power to throw it into the middle of the woods. Our friend freaks out.
That's it, we're done. You destroyed the world.
What? Oh God. The DM hands us a list of prophecies set to end the world. The top one,
a staff of great power will be thrown into
insert forgotten name of forest
here, under its own power.
We killed his world and campaign in about a half hour. Made for one of the best ends of a campaign, though. After 2 years of dungeon crawling through Keep on the Borderlands, Slave Lords, and the whole Against the Demon Queen, all updated for 5th edition by our awesome DM, our Fiendlock led a massive army of hell into the demon webs. We shot down Loth's astral spaceship and locked her in battle with the Elder Elemental Eye for at least a few hundred years. Being mortal is nice. I had an NPC, a crazy old war veteran who would talk about the end times coming for different reasons.
The Slime Lord comes to devour. The sky falls. The Jotuns strike the east with quakes, krakens,
etc. The party largely ignored him, but in the final chapter, where it turned out the Tarrasque was awakening, the party had to help the chief's artificer repair a massive war mech. The party piloted the mech and got control of a massive monster in a big kaiju battle royale. I think the last count was Elder Air Elemental, Kraken, Jubilee, Nightwalker, Jotun from Tome of the Beasts, and an Ancient Red Dragon. I controlled the Tarrasque. Each turn, a player could control the monster and the mech. They loved it. Great mage, big bad evil guy using a staff of great power to control jailed god's power. Party attacked in a spherical room on a floating platform. Warforged knocked off and is the only one far enough away to survive when the fighter snaps the staff, releasing a 300 D6 plus bomb of magic. Warforged eyes were burned white from witnessing the arcane inferno, and he was the only one to tell the story and have the wealth. Wait, you guys regularly have campaigns that end instead of just fizzling out? Dang! I've been in 2 campaigns that ended, but countless others that either COVID destroyed or people just never had lined up schedules. That being said, I have ended a COS game as the DM before. but the party accidentally speedran Ravenloft hardcore, and it was purely blind luck of where Strahd's location in the castle was. I drew for Strahd to be in his parents' tomb, and the party druid just so happened to gaze over the cliffside by village Barovia, and rolled well enough for perception to see the window there. The party had already bought climber's kits for an unrelated reason, so there was no reason they wouldn't try scaling in like Splinter Soldiers. Strahd died eventually, and it kinda just ended there. Sorry ahead of time if I butcher this name, but I've told the story of Captain Epnus Sneck before. But to cut a long story short, he was torn from his home world, where he worshipped a pantheon of gods who died while he was off-world. Spent several decades on this new world becoming a pirate captain, went on a quest to find the soul of his world, which had somehow become trapped on the world he's landed on, used it to resurrect the entire pantheon he worshipped, earning him their appraisal and a slot of his own on the Pantheon once he attained immortality. Then proceeded to form an alliance with a powerful extraplanar organization in partial order to gain said immortality. The ending happened as he readied himself to return home once more, with lichdom in his immediate future and godhood soon after. Also, he was a 30-foot-long Naga who loved hugs. Oh, I bet he did. The heroes bested the Lord of Barovia, and all of them gained a specific ending. The half-elf sorcerer William returned to the seas with his new wealth. The half-orc paladin/fighter, Grot, returned to his hometown as a shiny hero he always wanted to be. The orc's friend Gil, the human druid, returned to his hometown having avenged his mother. The black kobold rogue Arsene got rid of his curse while traveling with his new companions. There were also less happy endings. Zacharias, the Knight of Dead, played undead homebrew race, wanders the land to kill those who are the family of the Jan Pieterzoon. He is still roaming the land to this day, as his quest never ends. The tiefling sorcerer Pride, after ridding the world of Strahd, became the new lord of Barovia, stuck there for eternity. Gave one of my players a joke magic item, the Book of Misspells. They quickly figured it out and kept using the spell Mage Armoire to great effect by dropping it on people and stuff. One time they were experimenting with it, they realized they could store things in it, and when it reappeared, they would still be there. Cut to the end of this mini-campaign. The party, plus a friendly DMPC, Myconid Druid, are fighting a giant undead god fetus, and even with 8 characters and a DMPC, they are dropping like flies. Only the sorceress and the DMPC remain, and DMPC is going for the heroic self-sacrifice to blow up the ship and destroy the abomination. Sorceress summons the Mage Armoire, gets in, ends the spell. Wherever this thing goes, it has to be better than here. She survived and has since turned up in my main campaign as the secret financer of a range of tailoring shops, complete with many magic armoires. Then one of my players threw one inside one another for no reason and got sucked into the astral plane. It was Pathfinder, not 5th edition, but I'll share anyway. We love Pathfinder stories too. I have a homebrew setting that I've run multiple times. Every campaign starts with the same call to adventure scenario that happens over 5 games, and is as important as the ending. I'll give a quick summary. Party meets for the first time at a festival and compete in games, win prizes. This allows new players to learn the mechanics and get some cool stuff right off the get-go. Local rich dude noticed one family didn't make it to the festival and asked the winners of the games to go check up on them. Night 1. Party travels through the jungle hazarding lizardmen, wild animals, and overland travel to find the lighthouse home of the family has been ransacked, most of the family dead, and one family member missing, as well as pirates in the area. Night 2. A decision needs to be made. Deal with pirates or chase the missing son south to the worst part of the jungle. If a new player has joined the table, they'll come in as a captive of the pirates that can be rescued. They've always dealt with the pirates. Night 3. Follow the sun through the jungle and through an ancient crypt. This is the player's first dungeon and first boss. Discover the entrance they came through is part of a huge temple, harbor complex hidden in a cliffside, and find the child has been whisked away. Night 4. find an ancient guardian of the temple who wishes to pass his mantle and die while showing the PCs all the parties who failed before them. Give them a ship, a hidden base that needs to be explored/excavated, and a prophecy about the end of the world and how to stop it. Night 5. All of those are important, because I've seeded so many details for players to play with or ignore. I've ran 5 campaigns based off this beginning, and 4 times they fizzled out somewhere around level 12. But because I had so much lore and experiment to work with, I was able to take 8 PCs in my final campaign from level 1 to level 20 over 2.5 years. It was so satisfying to see people who had never rolled dice before slowly becoming angry little demigods who commanded armies against hosts of demons in a final 3-way battle with 9th level spells going off multiple times, in a single combat with around 75 minis on a table, while a samurai battled a Baylor in a duel. A wizard turned into a dragon, a barbarian led a siege that ultimately killed him, and posthumously renamed Battlefield in his honor for saving the day. They finally found the missing child. Once the last beer was drank, the dice was rolled, and the pencil was put down, there was a moment of silence. And a friend who I met because he was a brand new player in my game a couple years before said, "That was awesome." I'll run the next one. You can't buy that kind of satisfaction. Not D&D, but I hope it's still okay. We accept all TTRPGs in here. I used to play Dark Heresy with some high school people, and our campaign ended like this: wall of text incoming. We were tasked to infiltrate a hive city and dispose of a council of psychic individuals that had led a massive rebellion and took control of the city. Our task was to be done within a set amount of time, because when the time was up, the task force we were assigned to would commence an all-out attack of the city. The only reason we were sent in was to cut off the head from the snake. Didn't want those bastards getting away now, did we? About a week into our mission and no success, apart from almost dying several times. Fast forward, and we completed our mission, only suffering minor casualties. One of the guys turned traitor on us, so we ended him. However, right as we had completed our mission, our task force had started their attack on the city. We panicked because we were told to be out of the city before the bombardment and attack had started, so we searched for a landing pad. We got lucky and found a shuttlecraft that was being powered up by some rebels. As everyone else was in the passenger bay tending to their wounds, I piloted us out into the war zone. I tried to communicate to our task force that we were friendlies, but to no avail, and we were quickly shot down. I remember it clearly how the DM ended the campaign, because he took control of my character for a cinematic moment. Your head rings from the crash as you pull yourself from the wreckage. You crawl up the sand dune that was created from the crash, dimly realizing that the battered body of your friend is barely breathing as you push yourself to retreat from the burning carcass of the shuttle. You cling to the Inquisition's holy symbol in your hand before looking above you at the invasion. The sky above you is alight with explosions and dogfights from rebel ships and loyalist fighters, and you're so entranced with the spectacle that you do not see the figures approach the wreckage. Suddenly, an armored boot is in front of you, and you stare up into the eyes of a helmeted space marine. There are others too, you realize, as they begin to scour the wreckage and start to pull the surviving members of your cadre from the shuttlecraft. The one in front of you seems to say something to another space marine, but you cannot hear it over the deafening ringing in your ears. As you stare up, hopeless, the space marine levels his bolter at your head, and then darkness. Hey everyone, it's me, Brian, your favorite voice actor from Ohio. If you liked today's video, then please leave a like, and if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell to be notified whenever we post. If you have a story you'd like to submit to us, then check us out on our subreddit r/MrRipper, and be sure to join our Discord, links in the description, if you'd like to find a group to play your favorite TTRPG with. Using a help action, you can fire off some love to me, Brian Von VA, over on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok, where I make voice acting videos, voice your D&D characters, and stream some games. As always, we try to end on a positive note, and tonight is no different. This one is simple. I want everyone listening thus far to tell us in the comments below one thing that makes you truly happy right now. It's not a bad thing to share what makes us smile or emotional, especially in times of trouble and turmoil. We have to remember the good times and share them so we can appreciate the coming of the next dawn. Share in that love, read what other people say, and please share some kindness with them as well. All the love, everyone. We will see you next time. Bye for now.